My name is Lawrence Daly. I am a forensic child sexual abuse investigator, interviewer, and educator. The following is going to be a diagram on the investigations and interviewing of an investigative child sexual abuse interview. There will be criteria that I want you to consider when you investigate or interview child sexual abuse allegations. Mentorship. Law enforcement child sexual abuse investigators. Maturity and character. Commitment is an intentional mental stage where the law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator deals with emotion and mental disabilities. Is an indirect circumstances which causes the law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator to focus on the investigation, which requires an adjustment of goals, aspirations, and attitude. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator must have the dreams, hopes, and prayers which morally establishes a baseline where the commitment is designed to manage the investigator's personal and professional goals. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator works with a team of competent law enforcement child sexual abuse investigators who have obtained a positive outlook when they investigate an allegation of child sexual abuse. Aspirations. Law enforcement child sexual abuse investigators, if they want to be a part of the mentorship program, must aspire to manage and direct their investigations where the investigation is results oriented. In the mentorship program, a law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator must become proficient in their working habits and responsibilities so they may aspire to whatever level they wish to attain. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator must aspire to be the best they can be by demonstrating leadership qualities and skills throughout the mentorship program. A law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator should have a strong desire to successfully proceed through the mentorship program, looking at establishing his or herself as a competent investigator. This aspiration must be something the investigator internally desires. Goals. A law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator must have goals when beginning their career, with the goal that the success they find in their employment is emotionally, physically, and mentally rewarding, with the desire to continue building and rebuilding goals and aspirations. When building a career in law enforcement, the investigator has two avenues to pursue in reference to his or her career. The one avenue is reactive patrol, and the second avenue is investigations. The goal of the law enforcement officer will be one of the most important decisions of his or her law enforcement career. Once the investigator makes the decision on the avenue they wish to pursue, they will then cross the bridge to their journey to investigations, where they must decide which area of investigations they will specialize in. The investigator's law enforcement goals must be thought out carefully, thoroughly, and with a vision for promotion within the investigation division. The decision to select working in the sexual assault unit has to have specific goals. These goals must provide a solid foundation and future for the investigator. The investigator must have the access to receive training which will enhance his or her performance in the investigative field. The investigator needs the assurance that beginning as a third-class investigator, that as the years come and go, he or she will follow in line where he or she will have the ability to be promoted in the sexual assault unit. The goals must be in line with reality, as fantasy only turns the heart the wrong way and brings about frustration for all those involved in the investigator's journey. The saying, "Get the correct attitude for a given situation," can be a negative situation. You can have the correct attitude but have a negative result. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator must understand that his or her attitude may appear to be positive, but this does not mean the end result will be positive. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator must be highly adaptable, mobile, positive, resilient, patient risk taker who is open to new ideas. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator needs to have the attitude, which has a varying range of attributes such as curiosity, open-minded, intellectual honesty, careful judgment, acceptance of failure, and rationality creativity. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator needs to have the attitude which presents a position or posture of the body appropriate to or express of the mentor and rookie's actions, emotions, and so forth. Supervision must make sure the most qualified law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator is the finest candidate to be mentored. The type of mentor needs to have the positive personality where others in the Special Assault Unit and the department as a whole respect him or her. Supervision must make sure the most qualified law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator rookie is the finest candidate to select from. Supervision must request the funds for the next year's training budget to assist him or her in obtaining the goals of training all of those involved. Supervision must make sure his or her child sexual abuse investigators are in line in their training with state law. Mentor must have the willing attitude and the desire to share his or her knowledge, reference general major crime investigations and sexual assault unit. Must have received the proper education and training since being assigned to the Special Assault Unit. Must always demonstrate a positive attitude, character, and credibility in following the protocol, procedures, and standard operating procedures of the organization. The mentor must understand that there are two sides to an allegation, and the rookie must not make quick judgments about the innocence or guilt of the alleged perpetrator. The mentor must understand that there are four types of rookies: those who learn from hearing, those who learn from seeing, those who learn from doing it, and those who are able to learn from a combination or a part of hearing, seeing, and doing it. Rookie. Prior to coming into the Special Assault Unit, the time as a patrolman should not be a consideration. When applying for the position of law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator, he or she must want the position of investigator not as a stepping stone to robbery or homicide, but for a length of time where he or she is an effective child sexual abuse investigator. The special reason for this position is the Special Assault Unit has specialized investigative circumstances. Circumstances where a child abuse investigator can only learn how to be a law enforcement officer, and that is by experience within the Special Assault Unit. A rookie must have the understanding that it will take at least 1 to 1.5 years to 2 years to learn how to properly investigate an allegation of child sexual abuse. The rookie is willing to learn from his or her mentor. This is so important. The rookie is willing to have the understanding that separate from the job, he or she must be willing to research topics dealing with the role of being a child sexual abuse investigator and how the other professionals in the criminal justice system can assist him or her in the investigations of child sexual abuse. There is no training at the academy level about the significance about biological and physical evidence. There is no training at the academy level in how to interview a child sexual abuse victim. There is no training at the academy level about the significance of interviewing a witness who has knowledge about the facts of the child abuse incident. There is no training at the academy level about the significance of receiving a confession from the alleged perpetrator. There is no training at the academy level about the significance of why considering numerous alternative hypotheses is so important in finding the truth. Knowledge. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator supervisor must have a working knowledge of the responsibilities and roles they are accountable for. The law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator's mentor needs to have the ability, skills, and knowledge to be responsible for training the rookie investigator. If the law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator rookie obtains the knowledge of the protocol, procedure, and standard operating procedures of how to investigate an allegation of child sexual abuse and how to interview child victims, then this knowledge will assist the rookie in becoming a mature and competent investigator. The greater the knowledge, the quicker the law enforcement child sexual abuse investigator is able to establish him or herself as a competent investigator and ultimately become a mentor himself or herself. This cyclical system provides personal and professional goals, credibility, growth, character, knowledge, and competency. Thomas Carlyle states, "Permanence, perseverance, persistence in spite of all the obstacles, discouragement, and impossibilities. It is this that in all things distinguishes the strong from the weak." Thank you.